Hi guys, today I'm going to talk about the district attorney. And the reason I'm doing this is because I made a video about Yamalama Ding Dong, and then someone commented on it like, oh, tell me how good Gonzalez was or something. And that got me thinking, like, hmm, what is the deal with Gonzalez the and the one before that and everything? So I have been looking at all the stuff that's online to do with Gonzalez, and there is a lot, and it's I don't know, because I don't live in Athens, and obviously I can do reading and I can look at things that have been filed in court and I can, do research online, but there's only so far that I can get with that. So I'm just going to um, just generally go over my thoughts and what I found, but I do welcome any input from locals because you guys are the ones that live it. So my main thing was that when Edrick was arrested and charged and everything, Deborah Gonzalez was the DA at that time. And I was like, okay, like I thought that district attorneys were the ones who decided whether or not a case should be prosecuted. So anyway, I looked that up, and this is from the Atlantic Judicial Circuit, and it was just like a frequently asked questions, and it says on here that yes, the DA plays a crucial role in deciding whether a case should move forward, and the key factors are evidence strength, legal standards, credibility of witnesses, public interest and justice, resources and priorities, and alternative resolutions. And if a case lacks sufficient evidence or doesn't meet legal standards, the DA may decline to prosecute. So obviously there was a lot of media attention on the Tara Baker case, and they, from what I can gather, that there wasn't a lot of public trust in Gonzalez as a DA, and she had a lot of staff turnover. A lot of cases got thrown out and stuff because of mistakes or like staffing problems or whatever. But also, apparently, she was not a criminal attorney, so she actually hadn't like tried any cases, criminal cases, before becoming a DA, and I would think that that's problematic because if you're looking at this kind of stuff, forensic results, legal standards, blah blah blah, all of this stuff, I would think a background in criminal law and stuff would be very important. But yeah, so she obviously she was a controversial DA. Let me find. So this is an article about Jared Miller petitioned the court because he thought that Deborah Gonzalez was not doing her job properly. And yeah, his attorney, Kevin Epps, said that Mr. Miller wants the curtain to be pulled back so that the public can see what's really going on. And there was some concerning things that happened where there was a mistrial in some pretty serious charges, and yeah, that's not good. So she was, I think, the first female Hispanic district attorney, which is a win for minority groups, obviously. And I think when she first got in, she had good ideas, and she had there was some things that she was going to try and implement that were going to be actually good. But it seems as though she wasn't that great at the follow through of those ideas. And it says here that you can see the documents and stuff and the petition at that website. I managed to track down all of the documents, and there are so many. It's really overwhelming. I will show you. So I actually downloaded everything. So there's news articles, that's just the website main page. And then these are like volumes of documents and information and stuff. There's 23. And then there's all these exhibits of different things, texts and problems with certain cases, and like a lot of stuff to do with staffing issues and everything. So yeah, I mean, each of these volumes, like some of them are up to 500 pages, and there's a lot in them. Yeah, so my summary of it, I guess, is that she was elected because maybe the voters felt like it was time for a change, and she maybe put up quite a good campaign of things that she was going to do to be helpful. And then when that didn't really follow through, she started getting a lot of criticism. She does sort of blame a fair bit, and I don't know, that's probably the wrong word because I don't really know. You know, there's always two sides to something. But she would talk about that people are discriminating because she's a woman and because she is Hispanic. And to be fair, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, from what I've seen about Georgia in general, it's not a good place for women or people of color or, you know, other minority groups. It's not good because there's still a lot of old ideas, to put it nicely. So yeah, and then the other thing she was saying was that the pay was really bad, and that's why people were leaving. But I don't think that is entirely true. But the other thing that I do think hasn't been factored in is that all of this was happening around COVID time. And I don't know if you guys remember COVID time. It was pretty crazy. Lots of things went to shit because of COVID. So look, that's got to be a factor, just saying. So this brings me to my next thought, that by the time the GBI cold case unit had come in and they'd started looking at the Tara Baker case, I'm sure that Deborah thought that this would be maybe a good opportunity for her to redeem herself, I guess, because our old friend Houston Gaines, he was very much opposed to Deborah Gonzalez, and he was the one that introduced that bill about like rogue district attorneys or whatever, and he apparently that was like targeted towards her. So it makes sense that she would feel some sort of pressure to charge Edrick when the GBI brought her this DNA that was supposedly like solving the case, and she obviously doesn't have the like the knowledge, the experience to see that evidence as a whole picture. And I'd say that there was a lot of that other underlying motivation for her to go forward with that case. So it kind of makes sense when you put it into that context, because I was thinking, what bloody district attorney would charge these crimes with such bullshit evidence when there's still like unidentified male profiles alongside the defendant's DNA and the boyfriend's DNA. Like, it's ridiculous. So it just puts that into perspective a little bit more. And then I can see why Yamalama Ding Dong, when he came in, I'd like to think he'd have a little bit more sense. But obviously he's part of the club. He is in the Rotary Club. He is, up high in that community. And imagine the embarrassment of then turning around and saying, oh, actually, I don't know why we're charging this case and prosecuting this case, because the evidence is bullshit. So he's probably just like, oh, we'll just make it work. But I mean, that's me giving him some grace. Maybe he was in on it the whole time. I don't know. He was a defense attorney, so it's just all very corrupt, in my opinion. That's my cat making noise in the background. So anyway, that's my take on the district attorney stuff and how it relates to the Edrick Faust case. Like I said, this is just from what I have gathered, and I am aware that there would be a lot of other stuff that I don't know about, but this kind of sort of fits in with the whole picture that's being created with the research I've been doing. So if you've got any thoughts, let me know. I would love to hear them. Bye.